Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the City of Leduc's second virtual town hall for local businesses. We're very happy to have a chance to meet with all of you this evening to hear your opinions, share insights with each other, and offer relevant information that we hope will be assistance to all of you. We know that the COVID pandemic continues to take a serious toll on our local businesses, and these town halls are one way that we, the Chamber, the DBA, are working diligently to stay connected and offer practical, meaningful supports to our local business community. You all do so much to build the character and culture of our community, and we are committed to supporting you in whatever way we can. Tonight, I'm joined on our panel by the Honourable Mike Lake, MP for Edmonton-Wetaskiwin, my colleagues on Leduc City Council and co-chairs of the city's Economic Support and Recovery Task Force, Councillor Terry Lazowski and Councillor Laura Tillack, the Executive Director of the Leduc and Wetaskiwin Regional Chamber of Commerce, Jennifer Garries, owner of the Lighthouse Cowork and board member of the Downtown Business Association, Amber Cook, co-owner of Habaneros Mexican Grill, Jim Hamilton, owner of Jarred Mercantile, Katherine Dogterom, and representing the City of Leduc, Manager of Enterprise Systems and Analytics, Cindy Post. I'm so pleased to have you all here with me tonight. Thank you for taking part in tonight's event and offering your support and insight to our local business community. We received a lot of great questions and feedback from the participants of our last town hall in December, so we wanted to dedicate as much time as we can tonight to hearing from all of you. So with that in mind, I'll keep my comments quite brief. In a moment, I'll open the floor to the Honourable Mike Lake, who will bring a message on behalf of the Government of Canada, followed by Councillor Lazowski and Councillor Tillack. Jim Hamilton will then share some insights that he's gained in recent months about expanding services online and keeping money within your own business and within our community. And after that, we'll listen to Katherine Dogterom, and we'll move then into a Q&A period during which you can ask questions or offer your comments to the panel for follow-up. We've received some advanced questions through our virtual question box, and you're welcome to submit any questions or input that you'd like to share with our panel by entering it using the question tab located in the toolbar. Our moderator will read the questions that are submitted aloud for the panel to hear, and we'll do our best to provide you with a response. In the event that we aren't able to respond tonight, we'll follow up with an email in the next few days. So we really appreciate your input and participation tonight, as it helps us inform our efforts on the task force moving forward. So please don't hesitate to submit a question or comment, and we thank you for your patience in the event that we aren't able to respond during tonight's event. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. And just to provide some context to those of you who weren't on the town hall in December, these virtual town halls have come about through the city's Economic Support and Recovery Task Force, which is a collaboration between the City of Leduc, the Leduc and Wetaskiwin Regional Chamber of Commerce, and the Downtown Business Association. We're responding to unique challenges being faced by our business community as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The task force meets regularly, currently 3 mornings a week, to discuss the needs of local businesses and to identify practical supports and solutions in response, such as the COVID Recovery Grant, the Love Your Leduc Support Local Campaign, and engagement opportunities such as workshops, seminars, and town halls. In the coming weeks, we'll be exploring opportunities to promote student internships within our business community. And we know that student interns can provide great value to the business they serve, and also it helps them to develop their skills. And we know there are programs available to support hiring and funding students with relevant business and professional skills. So we hope that you'll find value in these efforts. And as always, we welcome your input on the challenges you're facing, the questions you have, and the creative solutions you've found to help navigate the uncharted waters that we're all in. I look forward to hearing from all of you tonight. And this town hall is an opportunity for you to be heard. So on behalf of our Leduc City Council and Administration, please know that we're here to help, and we're dedicated to seeing you through these challenging times. We're all in this together, And I'm confident that in spite of the difficulties we know lie ahead, we will emerge even stronger, more resilient, and more connected as a community. So thank you once again for joining tonight's town hall. And now I'll hand things over to the Honourable Mike Lake. Take it away, Mike.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Mayor Young. And I want to say a huge thank you to Council in Leduc, to the members of the task force, to the Leduc Chamber, who does such great work on behalf of the region in helping business people in this region to navigate what are truly very difficult circumstances. And more than anything, I want to thank the people who are a part of the town hall tonight in terms of watching. You know, a couple of months ago, things were looking really tough here. They continue to look tough, but the numbers are really improving in Alberta. And I think that there's reason to hope. Obviously, we're seeing ourselves being able to see the provincial government relax some of the restrictions of late. And that's because of the discipline shown by Albertans in the last couple of months. And so, you know, we hope that will continue. For the federal part, and as an opposition, with Parliament having been sitting for the last couple of weeks, you know, I want you to know that the main, because not everybody watches question period every day, I'm sure, you know, the main focus right now during question period on behalf of the official opposition, the Conservative opposition, has been really on two fronts, and both of them are critically important to folks in our region. Number one is vaccines, which are going to be important if we're going to continue to loosen restrictions and be able to get on top of this as a country. But the other area that is critically important, and I think it's really important for Albertans to know this, is that the other focus has been pipelines, and a real focus on, you know, the Keystone XL decision, on the Line 5, the situation facing Line 5 through Michigan, and the impacts on not only the Canadian oil and gas sector, but really on Canadians across the board in terms of our energy needs. And so there's really been a spotlight, unlike probably over the last year. There's been more of a spotlight because we've really been pressing the issue in Parliament, led by Erin O'Toole, our leader, on these fronts. And so now that Parliament is sitting again after the Christmas constituency break, by the way, important to note that I did not leave the country or even my house. I feel like I didn't even leave my basement over Christmas in terms of the meetings I've been having. But really, you know, now that we're back, there's this real focus as Parliament sitting over the next 5 months. We sit 3 out of every 4 weeks. It's our busiest stretch, and we'll be able to ask the right questions, hold the government to account for their approach, not only on COVID, but on so many other things that are impacting our region. And with that, I'll kind of wrap up by just mentioning that we also have been hosting a series of constituent roundtables, as I have for 15 years. We hosted about 50 of them last year, and we hosted already about 8 or 9 this year. And so if you're interested in coming out and giving me some feedback on how what issues are important to you, we'd welcome you to reach out to the office and book your spot. We have many of them coming up. So thank you very much. And again, thank you, Mayor Young, for including me in this important conversation.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Mike, we do watch question period once in a while. So, hey, I'm happy to be here this evening with to take part in the discussion and to engage directly with members of our business community. Supporting the drivers of our local community is crucially important in the current environment. So I'm glad to have the opportunity to hear your insights, gather your feedback, and offer my support in finding solutions to any issues you may be facing. Along with Mayor Young and Councillor Tillack, I've been actively involved in the Economic Support and Recovery Task Force since its inception last April. Our main objective right from the start has been to connect directly to the business community to hear straight from you what struggles you're facing and how the city can support you through this challenging time. We've met with representatives from a variety of local business sectors, including hospitality, real estate, and personal services, and have begun meeting regularly with representatives from the local chamber and the DBA as well, in order to effectively combine our efforts. Building on the productivity of these group discussions, these town halls allow us to provide you with relevant information and support to gather your input on the obstacles you encounter and then identify practical solutions where we can help you overcome them. I look forward to hearing from everyone this evening to learn more about any meaningful supports we can consider to be as help to you as we continue to weather the storm together. In my capacity as a member of City Council, I'm eager to offer whatever assistance I can to our local business owners and operators. Thank you in advance for your input.
All right, so good evening, everyone. I am pleased to join you all tonight for what I am sure will be an informative and productive roundtable discussion. As the owner of a Leduc-based business that has faced multiple closures and reductions in business since the start of the pandemic, I can personally empathize with what many of my fellow business community members are coping with. Running a business is never easy, and it requires a lot of persistence, a lot of hard work, creativity, and support. And this is even more true during times like these. Many of us have been required to rethink the way we structure and deliver the services we provide to the community, and do it with little to no notice in some instances. With my business, for instance, the pandemic closure required us to move to delivering our fitness classes in an online format. Additionally, we've spent a lot of time and effort developing and strengthening our social media presence in order to remain engaged with our followers while our doors were closed to the public, and to keep them informed regarding our new virtual services, as well as planning to offer and when we will be in person again. There are a lot of opportunities for businesses of all kinds who are looking to move to e-commerce, but it can be complicated and tricky to navigate if you're not familiar with the online and social landscape. It can be tough to know who to reach out to for direction, what tools best suit the needs of your business, and what financial and business supports are available to us as business owners, let alone how to access the supports once you've deemed that you may be eligible. For this is why I was eager to co-chair the Economic Support Recovery Task Force alongside my council colleagues, Mayor Young and Councillor Lazowski. Having dealt with so many of these obstacles firsthand since the pandemic started last March, I am pleased to have the opportunity to share my experiences, my learnings, and my expertise in this area in hopes that it will be of use to my fellow Leduc business owners. I am looking forward to this evening's discussion and hearing directly from all of you about any questions or feedback you may have, and continue to work in our community through the task force to support the growth and strength of our vibrant business community. I know these are tough times for all of us, and there is still a long road ahead, but we are a strong, collaborative, and supportive community, and I know that we will continue to band together to overcome hurdles and design pragmatic and viable solutions. Thank you for being here tonight and offering us your insights, your comments, your questions, and everything we hear from you will help us to better serve and respond to the specific needs of Leduc business owners. So we appreciate your participation and ongoing engagement.
Jim, you're next.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I've been asked to talk a little bit about how we've been able to switch to delivering our food using our own staff rather than people from a third-party delivery app. Now, what we've had, even before the apocalypse struck there, we got this about 3 years ago, was an app that we could use to take online orders and process credit cards. That app was designed by third parties, called Chow Now. What it has for going for it is it's got a low flat monthly fee, so it's not commission based, because what we find from our peers who are using Skip the Dishes and DoorDash is that their fees are in the neighborhood of about 25%. Now, if you know anything about the restaurant business, in 2019, before the apocalypse struck, the average Alberta restaurant was making somewhere between 5 and 6% profit. So someone who comes in and charges you 25% to deliver your orders, it's in my opinion, simply predatory. once we were just using our Chow Now app to process online orders that for people to pick up. But as soon as the closures came in, we switched that so that we could also take delivery orders. And the delivery orders were doing using our own staff, and that was using underemployed servers. Our model on that is to just charge a flat delivery fee. That entire fee goes to our server. The tips that come in on the tablet are quite transparent. The delivery tips will also go to the server. And we've been able to do that to keep, for example, our hostesses and some of our servers making a little bit of income during this time, whereas otherwise they wouldn't. The feedback we've been getting from our customers has been very good. 2 years ago, people were phoning and saying, well, how come you guys aren't on Skip the Dishes? Like, everyone else is on Skip the Dishes. Like, no, we can't afford it. Like, it's 25%. Nowadays, we talk to people, they're like, yeah, I'm glad you're delivering with your own servers. I'm here you're delivering with your own servers. Like, I hate giving our money overseas to Skip the Dishes. I find that a lot of my restaurant peers are using those third-party delivery apps. They don't have a good feel of their own numbers, like where their expenses are going. Just like, yeah, this month we didn't seem to make this much that much, but not really sure where it goes. Myself and my brother, who's the co-owner here, we both have a career of 25 years in engineering before this. We're pretty good at using spreadsheets and figuring out where our fees are going. But anyway, we've had a really good experience with using our own staff in this app to do that. Advice to other restaurant owners or other business owners looking for that, like you don't have to go and get the Chow Now app from these guys. Basically anything, and there's a lot of them available where it's not tied to having a service in a certain location. For example, where Skip the Dishes, they're tied to having a pool of drivers in a certain city before they can deliver to a city. If you're doing with your own forces, you can have an app that's developed anywhere as long as it's location independent. The one we use is a really good, simple web-based interface that when we sell out of something, we can log in ourselves and mark it as sold out, or if it's a really slow night because of the weather or something, change the hours on a tablet quite interactively without having to interact with somebody's helpline or something like that. The other thing we really like on it is that we have access to all our customer data, whereas the guys that are on Skip, the orders come in and they're just a number and you don't know what's going on with that. We see the same names come up on our tablet again and again. We can reach out to those folks, and we've done promos like say, hey, like let's take the top 10 people who've ordered and send them all a thank you coupon for doing that. Things we wouldn't be able to do if we didn't have our own customer data. It also allows us to interact with any problems directly rather than a customer that's having an issue phone Skip the Dishes and try and get some resolution from there. They can reach out to us directly and say, hey, where's my order, or I got something wrong, or can you help me with this? And we get the chance to interact one-on-one with the customer on that, which I find is a really great advantage. We see that a lot of restaurants these days are now trying to get their own in-house branded apps or do things a little bit more locally. And so there is a lot of uptick for that. So if you are considering going out on your own and delivering with local people, we're finding there's a lot of support for that in the community right now. Give you guys idea, just some numbers we put through. Like before the restrictions, we were doing about 10% of our orders through this tablet system. Last month in January, it was over 60% of our orders came in through that. We were seeing over 25% of our orders are now delivery. The balance come in either on the tablet or on the phone for pickup. And by only paying $159 flat month for the app, like that works out on those orders to be about 1.1% that we're paying the company who's developed that for us. So that's quite a significant savings over the 25% that would be charged by some of the other ones. Yeah, that's been my experience on it. So I'm happy to answer any questions later on this for any folks who want to find out more.
Thanks, Jim. Katherine, you're up next.
Thanks. So my name's Katherine. I opened Jarred Mercantile in July of this year. So when we opened Jarred, our purpose of opening the store was to provide a shopping experience. If you read Jard's mission statement, we talk a lot about the old school general stores. We talk a lot about coming in, knowing who you're buying from, getting to look at the products, smell the products, sometimes even test the products before you buy. We have a large bulk section, which is a refillery where you can bring in your own containers, fill up products in those containers. And so when the pandemic was going on and we were trying to decide if we wanted to open or not, we realized that yes, online ordering is going to be important for us, but then we tried to figure out how that online ordering was going to translate into our store mission and give people the experience that we wanted to give them with in-store shopping. Have not figured out how to do that yet, or at least not well. We did find out that our online store was going to be way more important than we originally thought it was going to be. And so I immediately hired someone in marketing that had some experience building websites, which I don't have. And unfortunately, what I found with being a little bit of a niche product with our bulk options, people didn't really seem to understand necessarily what we needed from our online system. It wasn't just straightforward, hey, we have a product, this is the price of the product and you can ship it out. It's, hey, we have a lot of different products that could be different prices depending on what you want from them. So what we actually ended up doing is we have 2 web servers that we currently use right now. So when you go to our home page, we do use one web service, and then when you actually order from Jard, you're using Square, which is the point of sale system that we use in-house. And the reason we did that is because while Square is awesome for us with our in-house point of sale, it keeps track of our inventory for us, it lets us sell bulk products, which is pretty much the most important reason why we purchased Square in the first place. It has a really not pretty interface, for lack of a better word. So we actually ended up going with a different company so that our front page, the first page you go to when you go to jardmercantile.ca, still that pretty pictures, has our own colors, all that fun stuff. But then when you go to order the products, you are redirected to Square. Probably not the easiest way to do things. If we could do it over, or whenever we get a chance here to look at things again, I think we'd go with something different. But for us at this point in time, when we were trying to open the business, finish construction, figure out how we were going to open our doors in the summer, when we opened, we opened July 1st and just weren't sure what to expect. We decided just to go with that. In saying that, we didn't realize that Square actually wouldn't do the bulk purchases online as easily as you can do bulk purchases in person. So that's my new word of warning to any small business is double check to make sure what you can do in person, you can also do online. So that has really put a crink in our plans with our online sales, something that we're trying to figure out and what that looks like. And something that we just had never even thought of before we started this system and this business. So really was a learning curve, continues to be a learning curve for us. I find with our online sales, we haven't had the uptake that we thought we might have. Again, I think it's because we really try and market our store as a service as well as the products in it. So again, you're coming in, you're wanting to smell things. Can't try anything right now with AHS guidelines and everything else, although we hope in the future you'll be able to. But our customers, excuse me, even in the worst of it this fall, we're still coming in, obviously in lower numbers. Now, I like to do more research with our customers to see if more people would want to buy online. We do give people the option, obviously, to do curbside pickup or pick up in store, whatever they'd prefer. I'm curious to see from the retail side if more customers would like delivery options. I'd love a one-stop shop delivery app similar to what restaurants can do. and have all our options up there kind of on a day-to-day schedule. Unfortunately, we haven't really been able to do that either right now, just with staffing shortages is a big thing. And again, lack of requests from our customers. We haven't had the requests of customers to say, hey, can you deliver? You know, is this even an option? We do lots of curbside pickup for people that don't want to come into the store, which is great. But the delivery options we haven't seen from the retail side. So again, I look to the city and I see lots of retail stores in the city wanting delivery options for their retail stores. A lot of stores similar to ours do a lot of delivery in both Edmonton and Calgary. And I haven't seen that in Leduc. So I don't know if we're just different here in Leduc or if we're actually missing out on something as Jard. So that's something that, you know, we really want to look into a bit more and see if that's going to continue in the future, if people are going to want delivery options, because that is the way people shop now. We're all on our phones and computers at home. And maybe people do want that option, and if so, you know, we want to make sure that our website is evolving to deal with that. The other thing I'd say with our website is that I think we really severely underestimated the amount of time it takes to keep our website updated. Again, with being a business that prides itself on bringing in, you know, local niche products, it takes a lot of time to keep those updated, to make sure your inventory is always correct. The worst thing in the world is emailing a customer and saying, hey, I know it said that was in stock online, but actually we're out of stock. Is there anything else we can switch out, or we have to refund you, things like that. So again, that's probably one thing that I wish that we did, was spend more money, find a marketing coordinator or a website designer that knew our business, was able to work with us a little bit better and really make sure that that was built correctly and continue to be updated correctly, because I'd say out of my week, it takes up much more time that I'd rather spend interacting with customers or working on other areas of our business. So, you know, I'd say from our lens, with the website being more important than we thought it would be, we're still learning a lot, you know, and I'm curious to see how the next year goes with it.
Thanks, Katherine. I'll tell you, you're really brave to start a new business during a pandemic.
Yeah, it's been interesting for sure.
And you bring up some interesting points. You know, like Laura can probably share, because again, she had to take her business online as well. So, Laura, did you want to share some of yours?
Yeah, sure, because it wasn't something that was available to us as fitness instructors. I teach certain choreographed classes that weren't actually allowed to be on an online platform. It was written within our contract as an instructor that teaches that type of class that it wasn't available to us. But since the pandemic came, they rewrote those words because all of their instructors that teach that specific class would not be able to teach at all, because we all had to be virtual. So worldwide, because these platforms are worldwide classes, that everybody had to change right away. And with that change gave me the availability to teach classes online. So as soon as we were closed down and couldn't have anybody, the following week I had an iPad set up, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm not stopping. I'm going to continue. And, you know, and that was step one, just to get it out there, even though it wasn't the greatest. And that as I went along, week by week, I started to educate myself on Zoom, on, you know, different types of webcams, the way that it should be set up, having it on my computer so I can share the music versus playing it in the background or having my participants play it. Having all those little tiny tweaks each week and learning the different ways to make it the best experience. I think honestly that is what saved my fitness aspect of my business, because it would be gone by now if I didn't have that. But starting it from the very beginning, I think, is what saved it, is that I was able to capture all of my participants, keep them, and then gain more as we went along. And even though we opened up and we're allowed to have like 5 people here, I still did a hybrid where I still did virtual, still did in person, because I didn't know what was coming next. You never know what's around the corner, it seems, with this. and then they closed us again. And now they're slowly, eventually maybe opening us back up. So honestly, if I didn't have that, it would have definitely ruined it. And I did reach out to you know, a bunch of the different businesses that also teach it, to show them what I figured out. That, I mean, it took me time to understand exactly how the right setup should be to deliver the best opportunity and the best class possible. And I even reached out to some dance studios to help them figure it out, and some of them have taken me up, and I've helped set them up in that aspect. But it was definitely a learning experience, and now like I'm teaching classes to people in England and throughout the States, and you know, and all through Canada, and it's just like that. Honestly, that would never have happened if I wasn't forced to go virtual. So, I mean, there's lots of negatives. I mean, we can't massage virtually, but the positive is that it brought this virtual fitness aspect to my business, which now my studio like is infinite space. I can have so many in person, but I can have 200 people online if I wanted. So so there is a little bit of pluses in the different ways that now we've all had to, you know, change our businesses slightly with the online e-commerce, the app to deliver, the, you know, virtual fitness and various other things that, you know, as I think other businesses could take the, you know, up, you know, all of the expertise that we've brought to this. And, you know, I feel like any of us on here, that we would be more than willing to help out. Like, just reach out and we can come to your space or virtually visit and help you figure out the best way to deliver whatever it is that you have. But yeah, the fitness, honestly, it exploded, which was kind of nice.
Thanks, Laura. Appreciate that. And one of the things we're going to be looking at and exploring is, and I don't know, Amber, if you want to talk about it right now, is a venture program to bring in Nate or college students that can help people with their websites and that.
Yeah, so at the end of March, along with the Chamber, we are going to be hosting a workshop. I believe it's March 25th. Sorry, I don't have the date in front of me. So we'll have that information out shortly, but we're going to be really highlighting how do you create an internship program. So that is one piece of it. And how do you potentially bring on interns, students who are skilled in things like developing web design, maybe skilled in e-commerce, it's something that they've studied, and how can you bring them on to your team to help you even on a short-term project basis? So utilizing things like the Federal Canada Summer Job Grant, utilizing programs like through Venture for Canada or another organization, I believe it's called MyCax. And so we're gonna have representatives from these different organizations, as well as our local universities and colleges. We're hoping for participation from NAIT and Norquest, as well as the University of Alberta, to talk about their programs that they have and how you can bring on students and partner. And then we're also looking at, you know, maybe there's opportunities for like a hiring where we can then hire out and seeing if there's interest in, you know, maybe there's 5 businesses like Katie's with Jard Mercantile who are looking for support that we can have maybe one student work on kind of 5 businesses or something like that. So we would love your feedback if that's something that is of interest to you. But we really think that creating some employable opportunities for students who are want to work in their field of study and giving them some work experience, and we want to help you as well potentially get funding for these kinds of programs to help you, because we understand that money's tight. So that's sort of the nature of this workshop that we're going to put on at the end of March. And that again has come from our meetings with the Economic Task Force and talking about the different opportunities that are out there and hearing different things that we're hearing from businesses and the challenges that they're facing. So again, questions or comments related to any of that, please put them in the chat. We would love to hear from you and find out how we can support you in that way.
Thanks, Amber. And I think that's one thing that the pandemic has really highlighted is that the City of Leduc, we have to work with the DBA and with the Chamber and work together so that our goal, I think, is to make Leduc one of the best communities to have a small business in. And, you know, our theory with our council is that if we make it easy, people will do it. And so I think that's moving forward. I think there's a real opportunity. You know, you should never waste a good pandemic. And so we've learned things from it. And, you know, Leduc is going to become stronger and better for this. And so I understand from Natalie, we have a question for Katherine. Go ahead, Natalie.
We do have a question for Katherine. Yeah, so someone has asked, what does Square cost you, Katherine?
Yeah, so Square has you have to buy their hardware. I didn't buy their iPad. I had tablets at home, Android tablets. So I just bought their, where is it actually? No, I don't have it. Never mind. I was going to look and see if I had it. I bought their Bluetooth device, which is the Square Reader. It was about, I want to say, $200, and it accepts every form of credit card. So that includes American Express and all those weird ones that people come in with now. There's no monthly fee to Square, but they do have a higher percentage for credit cards than other companies do. So Square costs 10 cents per transaction for a debit transaction, and then for credit card, it is 2.69%. And again, that's across the board, so it's a little bit higher than other companies, mainly because they accept everything and they kind of roll it all into one. Now, the downside of Square is, again, on online sales, they actually increase that percentage, and I think it's 2.89%. And then there's a 30-cent transaction fee on top of that as well. So not the greatest, again, for online. Didn't read the fine print when I was looking at in-person versus online. So there's another lesson that I had to learn. I like it because it's easy, but definitely I think there's more cost-effective options out there if you're flexible.
Thanks, Katherine. Jennifer, did you want to mention some of the seminars that are coming up with the Chamber?
Yeah, just through our last town hall meeting, and again, the economic task force, the meeting with the GBA and the city, we have an event coming up on leasing and renting 101, and it really came from the discussions and kind of the flawed secret program when it was first rolled out, that kind of supported the landlord more than the tenant on that side of the recovery. So now we have Denton's coming in, Denton's Law, to answer any question, and it's just starting on the tenant side, what you should be watching for in your agreement and your contract, as well as on the landlord side and what you can watch out for. So even, I mean, some people are looking to expand their space to maybe decrease their cost by bringing in a sublease and that kind of thing. So it's literally anything you can think of to ask, and to have that lawyer one-on-one piece. It's a free event. It's on February 18th. So just next week, but reach out to the Chamber office and we can register you if you haven't been to our events before. But again, I mean, it's an opportunity. Even if you don't have the space right now, it's an opportunity to seek out and see what you should be looking for. So yeah, again, that's on February 18th. Amber mentioned we're partnering together to do the internship program, which again, that one is on March 25th. And as Amber mentioned, I mean, it's a great way to bring a student into your space, and the commitment is normally only an 8-week period. So it's not that you are, you're stuck with this person you're working with. I mean, you could go from one student, work with them, bring in another student, that kind of thing. So outside of who Amber mentioned on the panel, we'll also have testimonials from businesses that have worked with students, as well as students that have been placed before within organizations. So that is on March 25th. Yeah, if you have any questions on that, reach out to the Chamber office. Tomorrow we're hosting, and it's not too late to attend, on the brink of burnout. And that mental health piece is so important with what everyone is going through right now. So we have a really great speaker we're bringing in. That event is tomorrow. Again, if you would like to attend, just reach out to our Chamber office and we can register you. It's just your chamber.ca, so easy to know, and please reach out to us. And also, if there's any other events you can think of that you would love to see a speaker piece on, please reach out to us. We're working on right now on the commercial insurance side, because for any of you business owners, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but with COVID and all of that, premiums are changing on the commercial insurance side. So we're bringing in a specialist on that to discuss what will be happening with that moving forward in the future, as well as we have EIA coming in to give an update on the future of travel. So that's coming up on February 23rd. So I'm hopping around on my dates, but we have a lot of good things on the go. So, and again, we're always willing to throw any event or bring in any speaker that you may find valuable to help out your business. So thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Jen. So again, we are looking for, and that's one of the reasons that we host a town hall like this, is we're looking for suggestions. And so if there's things that we can do that can help you out, if there's seminars that we can host that'll make it easier for you, that's what we're here for. And you know, like there's a lot of really good, talented businesses in our community. And like I'm a big believer in you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You know, I'm more of a rob and duplicate guy. So if somebody's doing something good, if I can borrow their ideas, I'm all for that. So you know, and I think that's one of the things that by hosting more of these town halls, we're going to really work on our partnership with the DBA and with the chamber. And I think this is an opportunity going forward that we can really help strengthen our business community, because we know how important they are for our community. Okay, so Natalie has another question. Fire it at us, Natalie.
Yeah, so we have a question asking, have we looked into the Shop Here Digital Main Street program?
Okay, who wants to tackle that? Is that an Amber question?
It might be. I've never heard of that program before, so I'm jotting it down. But yeah, I definitely am willing to look into that. So unfortunately, I've never heard of that. So maybe that's one of those questions we can take away and get back to you. Absolutely. But
anybody else want to take a stab at that? Has anybody else heard of that? No. Oh, well. Okay. Do we have another question, Amber?
Yeah, we do. We got, Kristen was wondering what time is the Renting 101 event?
Easy one.
Yeah. It's over the lunch hour. So most of our events are over the lunch hour. The good thing is that we record most of those speaker series. So if you can attend, I know it's really tricky for restaurants and sole proprietors, and if you're at the front line, they're trying to run your business, but we always record our events of that kind. So if you can attend, we only ask that you register so we know to get that recording out to you. So, but yeah, so that's February 18th from 12 to 1.
Thanks, Jen.
We've got another question that came in asking if the city of Leduc has work available that can be provided by local businesses, what's the best way to stay connected to when these bids might open?
Okay, who wants to take that one?
I could just respond on the Alberta Purchasing Connection side. So if you're looking for local municipal bid jobs, all of our surrounding municipalities, so 7 municipalities in Leduc County as well as out in Wetaskiwin and surrounding, they're on the Alberta Purchasing Connection normally. And I'm not sure if someone from the city can comment on that, but if you're looking on that side of it, normally you would go through there. Does anyone else from the city have? We list those also are the opportunities locally. So if there's opportunities within the city of Leduc, if we also share that with our business community. So we also give a heads up on those as well.
And the other thing we did last year too is we also hosted a reverse trade show. And so we had the school boards there. We also had the airport there. And so what we did there is we invited a lot of local businesses, and exactly for that purpose is to educate people on how to get connected. Because again, City of Leduc, we have rules, and school boards have rules that when we're looking for goods and services, we have to go out and we have a process we have to follow. Unfortunately, not everybody knows what our process is. So last year we did host a reverse trade show, and I believe we're talking about hosting another one probably this spring. And I think that it wasn't as well attended as we'd hoped the first time, but I think that as we advertise it and make it, as the word gets out there, that we'll get more businesses out for that. But, you know, as Jen said, like we do have a website, but again, people have to know where to go and how to access it. So that's one thing that I think we can do a better job on making information available. So that would be something to do on the to-do list for the City of Leduc. Do you have another question, Natalie?
Oh, we can't hear you, Natalie.
Sorry, forgot about that. Thanks. So Jessica is asking, she says, I'm a chair rental hairstylist located in Leduc, and due to the pandemic shutting me down 2 times, I decided to try and apply for home occupation permit and have been refused due to having a tenant downstairs that has a separate entrance and a lack of parking. I rent my house and I have the owners sign off on my application saying they're okay with the business plan. I have a 2 parking garage that would be free for clients during working hours, and the tenant does not drive or use the parking at all and is willing to sign a letter saying she doesn't use the parking or leave any vehicles on the property. And the development officer has told me that the next step is to appeal. How can I get approved?
That's actually an excellent question. And so one of the things that we've been looking at, our council, is that we want to try and make things easier. And in the past, a lot of our land use bylaws have made it very difficult to get things done. And this is a perfect example, you know, especially now when you take a look at secondary suites, and we're trying to promote secondary suites, but unfortunately our bylaws as they read right now, if you have a secondary suite, it doesn't allow you to have a business. But what I would say to this is the quickest route for you to get approval is appeal. So take it to the SDAB, so that that will allow you to appeal it, and you'll have a good chance. Well, that's your only chance right now to get permission. So council will be looking. Council will be looking at changing our bylaws, making it easier, but unfortunately, councils, our municipalities aren't built for speed. And so, you know, but my best advice to you is to appeal it, and you know, that will be the quickest way for you to get approval to do it. But thanks for the question, and it is on the list of things to do. Mr. Dennis Peck, he's working through, like I say, our council is very committed to making things easier for small businesses, and we will get to that. We're looking at the parking as well, and so City of Edmonton just removed a lot of the parking requirements for their land use, and the City of Leduc is studying that right now, and I would think that you will see some changes on that. But you know, right now your best avenue is to appeal it. Natalie, do you have another question?
Yeah, we had one just come in. She says, a big challenge as a new small business within the city is maximizing how to get the word out about to neighbors and community groups. Everyone's overwhelmed with email, and it's highly likely that print advertisements will go into recycling due to concerns about COVID and germs. And I know the Chamber's trade fair was canceled in the spring. Does anyone have any suggestions on economical ways to advertise services to commercial customers?
Okay, who would like to take that? Is that an Amber question again?
Sure,
and then a Jen.
I can tag team it. But my first advice when you're a business-to-business operator, when you're marketing to different businesses, I would say LinkedIn is a great resource. There's also a newer platform called Alignable, and that is very local as well. And so that could be a great platform that you might want to check out. And they're basically social platforms. I would also encourage you to get involved with chamber events and things like that, and get involved with the chamber and see what kind of opportunities there might be there as well, as far as, and just different networking groups. And I know that we're in such a weird time where there's not the same kind of events that we enjoy having, but I think finding those connections, finding people who are your great clients, who are great advocates for your business, and reaching out to them and saying, can you connect me with your network? Can you connect me with the people in your circle? And really, I think I'm really big on teaching holistic marketing strategy plans and looking at all of your various marketing efforts that you could offer, and not going with one specific thing. So not sticking just with website, social media, or print or signage, but varying your marketing strategy in sort of all different kind of realms and platforms. And so that looks like a whole lot of different things. And so I'm happy to, if you want to reach out to me, I would be happy to share more direct information, and we can talk specifically potentially about your business. But it looks like Laura and Jennifer wanted to jump in and add something as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Amber. Yeah, it's too bad about the trade shows this year. We're really looking at the provincial steps, and of course, everyone knows right now we're in step 1, but we are closely watching, and if we can, even do an outdoor trade show, similar to a farmer's market, that is on our radar at this time. So if you're not part of the chamber network, please reach out to us and we can connect you with some of your customer base and help you on the marketing side. I know Councillor Tillack, I think, has some great ideas as well to mention of other organizations within the city of Leduc. So yeah, go ahead, Laura.
Yeah, so honestly, with advertising, you have to hit every single platform possible. So you have to be on Facebook, you have to be on Instagram, you have to be on Twitter, you have to even try TikTok. You have to do honestly everything, because each platform is going to attract a different audience, a different age group. And so you can have it set up so that you are actually posting to all of them at once. And if you want more information, we can obviously give you that and email that to you. But also on top of that, like I am part of a business networking group called BNI, and right now we're all meeting virtually, and we meet every single week to sell our businesses to each other. And then those, like we have 45 seconds to chat, and then there's 40 people in our chapter, and now those 40 people are like employees that are now going to go out and try to find us business. And to be perfectly honest, if I didn't have that group, I'm not sure how I would have survived all of this. I get to see people every week on this, and we have those relationships. They're helping to get me business. Social media, I'm working super hard on that. And honestly, you have to dip in it all. You have to do as best as you can, because with not having the expo or any other type of event, whether that even be a social one downtown where you can set up a table, or Rock the Rails where you may have a tent set up, like with all of those not happening, it really made it difficult. And I can see, especially with those businesses that may have just started up, is you missed out on all the face-to-face stuff. So I think the best thing is to really make sure that you're on every single platform, that they're all branded the same, that you have it really nicely laid out, and that you are just plugging away as best you can at all of those. But then finding these different networking groups, like there's BNI, but there's also Womanition. If you're a woman in business, they meet as well monthly. And then if you're in the downtown, there's the DBA. So there's a variety of different networking groups you can be a part of, depending on what area you're in or what you can have available to you. So feel free to reach out, and I can have Natalie get the information to email you more information on how to do all of that. So
thanks, Laura. Jim, you're surviving during a pandemic, so what are you doing to get the word out about Habaneros?
We've been finding that a combination of Instagram and Google ads gets the most bums in seats for us. We've tried a bunch of different other things. We've tried radio, we've tried print. We get a little bit of traction from Facebook, but Google and Instagram seem to have done very well for us, as measured by when we get to make a new customer here and say, well, how did you find out about us?
Okay, and how do you? So is that just you're doing it yourself, or do you have somebody that does it for you, or? Yeah,
we're doing it ourselves. I'm not a like complete stranger to the computer stuff, so that helps me out a bit. You know, if I didn't have that background, it would be a lot more harder for me to make that work. But yeah, the Instagram and Google ads, we target them to certain geographical areas that we're not spending money advertising outside of where someone would actually come to our restaurant or order from our restaurant. So learning how to use the little kind of geo filters on there to keep your ads in a certain area, and then how to target various interests as well has been, you know, that's been an interesting challenge. So there's not only advertising to your followers on Instagram and Facebook, but if you promote some of your posts and so on, then you can reach a wider audience who doesn't subscribe to us based on their interests. And that has worked out fairly well for us.
Katherine, you want to chime in on this too?
I think that the other thing that I don't think has really been mentioned is just the referrals too. I find Leduc is a really big word of mouth town. Everyone that comes in here is like, oh, I'm going to tell my friend and this friend and, you know, and everything else. So if someone comes in and is, you know, buying a gift, they say they're buying a gift for their friend or mom or whatever, we usually give out coupons so they can give them with the gift as well, which I am finding helps get someone in the door. You know, a coupon to the person buying the gift and a coupon to the person receiving the gift is a great way for us right now that we're finding to reward people for telling people about us, and then also hopefully giving that person a reason to come in.
Thank you. So, I think that this is also an opportunity that the City of Leduc is going to work with the DBA and with the Chamber. And that's one of the things that we're going to look at too, is that we're going to build a better database with all the information. That'll help council make better decisions when it comes to some of our economic choices. And I, you know, the better directory we can get, like I think it's really important for people to be able to find out what type of, if you need a plumber, if you need an electrician, you know, if you want to go to a restaurant, like I think the more information we can get out there and make it easier for people, I think that that will really help our local businesses as well. So that is something we're exploring now, and we don't have any answers yet, but I think shortly we will start to work on something like that. Natalie, you have another? Oh, go ahead, Jen.
I just want to add one more quick thing, that how great it is to see City of Leduc businesses partnering together for special events, or, you know, with Valentine's. There's so many themed businesses that are coming together on the packaging side for gifting that may be a completely different, you know, like right now we're seeing, you know, scones packaged with our local coffee provider and getting those out in heart-shaped packages. And, you know, just for businesses to partner together, even if it's on the services side, there's so much businesses can do to promote each other on that side of it. But yeah, it's just so great to see that businesses are really coming together on that side. So.
Yeah, I agree. Some of the promotions that we've seen, some of the businesses like helping out other businesses, yeah, like we really do have an amazing community. And, you know, moving forward, like we're going to explore and see if there's ways that we can make it even better. Do you have another question, Natalie?
We do, yeah. So next question is, I am looking to expand my business online and make it more visible, but I'm not sure where to start. Are there any local resources I can access that might help to point me in the right direction, or any local businesses or people who can help me to get my business online?
Okay, we know, go ahead, Amber. We know this is going to be one of your questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have actually started compiling a list of different businesses who help, and they're local to the City of Leduc, who help people with creating websites or do social media management or various things like that. So, I mean, I could probably list them off and then I'll miss somebody, but I wonder too if it would be valuable if that's something that we could send as a follow-up to this call, that we could include that information for everybody of those local businesses who help with website development, social media management, and that kind of a thing. I think as well that we were working on including some of those things in the City of Leduc resource guide for the COVID resources. And so those kinds of resources and information, we were working on getting that listed in there as well, I believe.
And I'm sure Jen's going to weigh in on this.
Yeah, Amber had a good point on that. You know, every business we're hearing from is in a different stage on what their needs are. And so we've been talking about bringing in speakers on certain topics, but yeah, it's amazing to see some businesses may be online, but they, you know, they're the digital marketing side they need to do more work with. And then, as Amber mentioned, the social media. So we are working on that as we speak together in a partnership. So, but it is important to know where businesses are at and to really get the temperature and just to see what are the needs that you require. And also, Amber, again, good point. I mean, if we can really know who is doing those types of services within Leduc locally, so we can connect the businesses to them. So, yeah.
And if I'll just say too, if you are a local business and those are the kinds of services that you offer, please make sure that you reach out to either the Downtown Business Association or Jennifer with the Chamber. Let us know that these are the services you offer, because we want to make sure that our lists are complete and comprehensive so that we can refer people and provide that information to people who are asking. So definitely reach out to us. Sorry, go ahead, Cindy. I cut you off.
Yeah,
that's okay. No, there's also a couple city resources that are also available. Some of the businesses, especially during COVID, have reached out to my department, specifically businesses that are looking at doing some of that delivery piece. We have the postal code database for the whole city available that we can dump out. You know, and we're always keeping that up to date. We also have a bunch of city maps that are available, so that if people were wanting to do delivery zones and looking at radiuses and all of that stuff, you know, we have those resources available for downloading. And, you know, those are definitely some things that we can pull together relatively quickly for the businesses through the city, just because we are the keeper of that information. So we would definitely want to share with the business owners within the city of Leduc.
sounds like another opportunity when we start working together. We have valuable bits of information. If we bring them all together, it's going to work out really well. Do we have another question, Natalie?
Yes, we do. What are the current supports from the federal government for small businesses?
Oh, that sounds like a Mike Lake question.
You'd think I would have done this a few times by now, but I'm used to Zoom. There are, I guess the starting point, I would just say, if you're looking for federal government support at all times, I was fairly critical early on because it took a long time to get the federal government website up and running. But if you, the easiest way to do it is just to say, if you Google Canada and COVID-19, one of the top sites you're going to get is the Canadian government site. And you'll find that on that site, there is a fairly exhaustive list of all of the programs, rather than run down all of the programs, because folks know, like the wage subsidy program and rent subsidy programs and things like that exist. But there are quite a few programs that are maybe a little bit more niche, like the Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund, and there's supports for Indigenous programs as well. They are all very well. I don't give the federal government a lot of credit for many things, but I will say that their website right now is much better organized around supports for individuals and supports for businesses. And you can find a whole variety of programs there. Second thing I would say is, if you go in, and I would please encourage you to go on the site first before you call my office, because we're inundated these days. But if you go on the site and you're having trouble navigating a federal program, please then don't hesitate to call my office. And Nina, who handles my casework, Jackie, Matea, Sabrina, they're fantastic at helping. And I was going to weigh in a little bit earlier. I'm going to just weigh in on something that isn't really a federal government thing, but more the conversation that I've heard here, because my background before I got elected was sales and marketing with the Edmonton Oilers. And so I love what I'm listening to right now, first of all. So I'm going to give kudos. I'm going to single out Mayor Young, so because you're the guy that's chairing this, but you and your council, this is fantastic as an initiative. I've made some notes here, and just a little bit of feedback I would give from a networking standpoint is, first of all, Zoom. Everybody has Zoom fatigue, or let's say GoToMeeting fatigue, whatever you want to call it. If you want to be creative, do social events. People are longing for something a little bit different than just another meeting around the businesses that you're running and things like that. Tell people to have a happy hour. Get folks to grab a glass of wine. Don't think that you need 50 people on a call for it to be successful. I'm looking at Katherine and thinking about what you're saying, and your business sounds super interesting. You get 4 or 5 people, even friends who are business people. Amber's great at connecting with the work that she does, of course, the chamber at a larger scale. It's amazing if you bring 3 or 4 people together who are close and you have one conversation, how it becomes 6 and 8 and 10 and 15 people eventually. And then you combine with other networks like the Downtown Business Association and the chamber and other folks doing great work, and it turns into something super special. So this is a great start. I just want to encourage you to to really seize this, and we're going to learn. The mayor touched on these things a few times. We're learning a lot of things through the pandemic that we that are opportunities. It's a little dangerous to talk about that because people are really hurting and there's a lot of challenges out there, but there are some things that we're going to learn, and if you can learn them right now in the pressure in this heated moment, they're going to serve you down the road when things get back to normal, and your business is never going to be, it will benefit immensely from what you learn right now.
Thanks, Mike. And you shouldn't just single me out, because like I am just one of 7 people, and I think we do have a really a strong council. I love working with them, and they love to solve problems. And so one of the things that we've done to really help support our small businesses is that we offered a COVID-19 grant. And so this allowed small businesses to reach out through the chamber, and we paid for them to go and get aid in finding aid to help them keep going. And Jen, I think you can probably give us an update on that, but we know that there's a lot of small businesses that are really hurting right now. And so we're trying to do everything we can just to get them through the pandemic, because we know that the light is at the end of the tunnel, the vaccine is rolling out, and that hopefully we'll become stronger and better moving forward. So Jen, do you want to talk about that COVID-19 grant, what's happened so far?
Yeah, so the COVID recovery grant, we partnered with the city that would, so businesses applied for the grant in literally a 30-second quick application, and therefore then they were able to obtain up to 5 hours of bookkeeping or accounting services with a local bookkeeper or accountant. So we actually had 107 local businesses in the city of Leduc reach out in literally just a quick, almost 6-week period, and we turned it around so quickly, working with the city, with the GBA to roll that program out. So it was so successful. So when you're asking as a business what supports are there out there, please reach out. I mean, we can continue to match you with some of these bookkeeping, accounting services. And surprisingly, so many people think that just reading through, there is so much information, and there's federal programs, provincial programs, and so many businesses don't know where they even fit in, or even have the strength to even think about filling up, another application and another, not knowing if they would receive funding or not. But yeah, reach out to us. There are supports out there, and actually, surprisingly, with our feedback from the bookkeepers and accountants, it's surprising when businesses think that they don't have any additional resources, and then all of a sudden, I mean, they may fall under a curtailment or something. So other clauses that they didn't think of that they could qualify for. I mean, there's the CEBA loan that was increased from 40,000 to 60,000, the SMRF, the small medium enterprise relaunch grant, the wage subsidy, the new rent subsidy, different from the CCRA that was launched last spring. So there, please reach out to our office, because we can connect you with those experts that are dealing with it every single day, and they can give you advice on how to help you. And honestly, it's for some businesses, it's been thousands of dollars back in just to keep their doors either open, or if they have had to be closed during this time, it just helps get them through. So we hopefully won't lose any businesses through all of this. So, but reach out to us. We have great connections and people that are willing to just, walk you through these programs. So yeah, again, reach out yourchamber.ca if you have questions.
Yeah. And that's great point, Jennifer. I think, especially during this pandemic, one of the most important things, and because we know that people, they put everything they have and all their effort into their small business. And I think sometimes with what's happened with them, some of the restrictions and the shutdowns, that they just don't have any energy left. And I think it's really important that if you are struggling, reach out to the DBA, reach out to the chamber, reach out and talk. Like, I think it's really important, like what we're doing tonight. I think that sharing stories and all that you'll find there are a lot of people with similarities, and you never know where you might find help. But again, you have a commitment from the city of Leduc that even once we get through the pandemic, we are still going to carry on with these town halls, because again, we want to make sure that we're hearing and helping. And it's city council, we love to solve problems. All you have to do is let us know what they are. So we have another question, Natalie.
Yeah, we do. Next question is, our commercial storefront is not in the downtown business core. Can we still work with the Downtown Business Association if we're in a different area of the city?
Good question.
I would say reach out to us and let's talk about what that sort of relationship could look like. I think that we definitely, at least from my perspective, we want to be an inclusive group. And so I would love to hear from you about what your ideas are and how we could potentially work together. So I think, yes, like it's always worth a conversation. And so whatever that might look like, we would love to have a conversation about that.
We've also had members of the DBA be non-voting members that can still attend the DBA meeting and use that as a group to, network within other businesses. So anyone is welcome to come to the DBA. We meet Fridays at 7:30 in the morning once a month. I think our meeting is this Friday. And anybody can come. You just may not be able to necessarily vote on something, but you're always welcome to be there, talk about your business, give some ideas, be a part of any of our events. It's definitely open to anybody to be a part of.
Yeah, we are looking.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So we're looking as well at switching some of our, what we have been previously doing as Fourth Friday events, and we're looking at making some changes to those and making them Third Thursday events starting in May. And so looking at, there might be opportunities, hopefully with restrictions allow that, other businesses who aren't necessarily downtown could set up a booth or a table or different things like that, as well as looking, I know Katie helped organize a fall festival this past fall and had vendors from all over. So definitely, especially for events, reach out so that we can get in touch with you when we have those kinds of events, because we definitely want to include everyone. We want to make downtown a vibrant place that people want to come, and that doesn't matter where your business is or where you live.
And I think it's really important during the pandemic that there's less concern on whether you're a member. I think that that's one of the things I really appreciate about the DBA and the chamber is that we're more concerned with helping people than we are whether you're a member or not. And again, if you're struggling, if you're having troubles, if there's something you don't know, all you got to do is ask. And if we don't have the answers, we can usually send you in the direction to find the answers. Did you want to weigh in on that too, Jen?
Yeah, exactly what you said. Yeah, always reach out to us for any sort of reason, and we can help you with those connections. But yeah, I appreciate what Amber's saying with your events and connecting, even if you aren't within the downtown core. There's so much collaboration that can go on businesses in any sort of way, even if you're outside of a certain zone. So yeah, I would say reach out definitely. I also wanted to just quickly give a shout out to the City of Leduc Economic Development Department as well. And they have people in that department always willing to help and answer your questions as well. So.
Yeah, sometimes I forget. Thanks for mentioning them. Harold and Carly will be happy.
So it's all, yeah, but I just want to mention even on kind of even like the next level there is an economic development department always willing to help as well. So yeah.
Do we have another question, Natalie?
Nope, not right now.
Okay. So the other thing I'll mention right now, since we don't have a question, I just want to talk a little bit about our homeless shelter. And so again, the City of Leduc, we always look to partner with other groups. we find that we get the best value for dollars when we partner with them. And so with our homeless shelter, we partnered with the Hub and with the Gateway Church. And so our homeless shelter now is downtown, and it's usually open from, I believe, 9 p.m. Till the morning. And during this really cold weather, what's happened is that the City of Leduc, we've opened up our atrium as a warming center. And now that the LRC, thankfully that the restrictions have been lifted, and we have opened our recreation center. And so now it can be used as a warming center as well. The other thing is the City of Leduc has provided transportation. So we'll take, because our atrium, it shuts down at about 4 p.m. And so we'll bus them to the LRC. And then when the LRC, or when they're ready to go to the shelter, we're busing them from the LRC to the shelter. So, you know, during this lovely Alberta weather, it's really important that, you know, we make sure that some of the more vulnerable citizens in Leduc are taken care of. So City of Leduc is really happy to, you know, provide these services. And we've only had, like last year was the first year that we really had a homeless shelter. This year we've expanded that. The Gateway Church is there. They also are setting up a gyro center that will provide clothing for people who need it. And, you know, it's really just another opportunity for us to take care of those people that need it in the City of Leduc. So really happy with all the groups that do come together to, and you know, this is just one example of many things that you see happening in our community. When people seem to need a little bit of help or assistance, we're very fortunate that we have people that are willing to step forward. So just happy that we could provide that. The other thing, well, actually, Councillor Lazowski, you haven't said anything. You got anything to offer tonight?
I sure do. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, great questions and comments by everybody. Really appreciated it. And Jim, Catherine's, your comments. I was quite interested in Skip the Dishes, where the cut is, and your other app, and just trying to understand all of that. Maybe I'll take that up with you off the line for a different discussion, but appreciate that. The homeowner business question. There's no question that with all the grief we've gone through the pandemic, work patterns and practices are going to change. And we don't exactly know how that's going to be, but we need to be, as municipalities and governments, very open to amending bylaws to adapt to some of those changes, how they're going to shake out. But there's definitely going to be changing work patterns coming out of this, which is going to improve certain things in quality of life for people, which I think we should all be looking forward to. The other thing was the marketing stuff Mike talked on and other people talked on tonight. Like, a lot of these small businesses, they're not seeing people now, and they haven't really been social, you know, social media savvy. So they need to try and figure out and how to connect with people other than people not coming to their stores or afraid to come into their stores. And I think between the chamber and the DPA, some of the exercises that you're doing are very timely. And I think those types of things we can't let drop, because obviously how we market right now is definitely changed than where we were a year ago. So anyway, appreciate everybody's comments. Thank you very much for attending.
Anybody else want to comment? Councillor Tillack.
I feel like I've said a lot already today. But yeah, I mean, honestly, all of us that are here right now are more than welcome to, you're more than welcome to reach out to, because I mean, anything that we've done within our business, we would love to share it, not only to show you what we've done, but to also help you, you know, be able to succeed as well. I reached out to even my competitors, you know, different fitness facilities, to see what I could do to help them out, even though, you know, we're technically, you know, competition with each other, but we're not really. We all offer just something a little bit different, and we continue to, you know, chat about the different restrictions and how things are being lifted. And honestly, you have to reach out to those people. You You have to make sure you have some form of a little bit of a network to have those conversations, to be able to say everything you need to say and vent it all out, and then figure it out, and then find a way through it. Without having conversations with people that are feeling and dealing with the same exact thing that you are feeling and dealing with, it makes it really hard to understand how to get through it. It makes it really hard to feel like there is actually ever going to be an end, or that there is a way to survive. When you talk to those people that are going through the same thing, you come up with different ideas, and you brainstorm ways to survive it, and you find humor potentially within, or you vent it all out, and you just get it out of your system, and then you can wake up the next day and figure it out. And I think, like, as business owners, that was basically our everyday to start with, was let's wake up and figure it out. It wasn't like our economy was booming to begin with before this hit, but you have to reach out. So if you don't have a business owner friend, we'll all be your friends. Just reach out, have a coffee with Amber at the Cowork space, visit Jen at the chamber, come to a council, or virtually come to a council meeting, or just go visit Bob at City Hall. He's there all the time now. So, but we're here to chat and vent and come up with ways to help you figure it out. And it doesn't matter if you're a competition to us. We don't care about that. We want you to survive, because competition actually makes each of us that little bit better. If we didn't have someone competing with us, we wouldn't be better at what we do and striving to push higher and harder at everything that we're accomplishing. So like, don't be shy. Just reach. We've all been there. We're all experiencing it. And you honestly just call us, email us, reach out to the chamber, the DBA, the city, whatever it is you need, just do it. And don't be shy. Don't think that any of your questions are dumb, because they're not. We've all already asked the questions potentially, and now we know the answers. So we would really love to find a way to help you get through this. So, like, please ask questions so that we can answer them.
Bob, can I just say one more thing?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to definitely thank Jennifer and Amber, part of the task force. We've got our own people. Natalie is on that. Martin is on, our different folks, but we were a little bit struggling getting off the ground when we started in April and May of last year. And once we brought you folks on board and broadened it into the community with the city, it took off like wildfire. And I'm just so pleased that we got, well, 103, I thought it was 107, you said, Jen, but we were able to connect with 107 City of Leduc businesses to give them support in the programs and for the different reasons that were talked about here earlier tonight. But without the support of you folks, we would have never got to that number. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Katherine, do you want to say anything?
I think with the question about the DBA earlier, I was going to chime in, and everyone else had some really good answers to it. Being new to the Leduc business scene, I've really enjoyed meeting as many people as I can this year. Obviously not as many as I would have liked to, with all the events and that type of thing being canceled. But I know for myself and with the DBA, we're hoping to plan more events. I like planning some events as well with Block 50. We're located in the Block 50 building, if everyone knows where that is. So I'm right between Basil's and Corinthia Flowers. Everyone seems to know those two awesome businesses. So I like to say we're right in between the two of them. And so, go buy pizza and pick up flowers for Valentine's Day. That'll be my plug for my neighbors. But we want to be building on the events that the DBA already hosts. So if there are any businesses that are interested in teaming up, like everyone was saying, we really enjoy collaborating with other businesses. We're hoping, I know I'm planning, I think 3 events so far for this spring, summer, and fall. We had so much fun at our fall festival last year. So I'm hoping this year to meet more local businesses, help them in any way that we can. We're still small, barely 7 months, on the job here, but that's why we opened a business in Leduc, is to get to know our community and to be a part of the community, and so far it's been awesome. So I hope that this next year we can continue to grow those relationships and have more fun.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jen.
Sorry, Mike, did you want to go first?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I just have a few things to mention. I just want to re-mention about our MLA Brad Rutherford being our local provincial contact. So if you do need help reaching out to his office, I mean, I know we've worked with a few different businesses, and I know a lot of you have already reached out individually to him on certain industries reopening and that kind of thing. So if you want that connection, let us know, we can help. I just want to also talk about, just for 1 second, on our Discover Leduc Region Tourism Initiative. It's another free platform that we've worked with JARD and with Habaneros on a lot of the packaging during Valentine's Day and all the different initiatives going on, but we're constantly blogging and posting, and it's getting a ton of hits. So if you are, again, in that type of industry, on the retail side, on the unique boutique side, on the restaurant side, please reach out to us and we'll include you in that initiative. We also have our Job Connector page on local jobs in the region, and even, I mean, if you're hiring, if you're know someone that's looking for a job, it's had close to 20,000 hits since last summer. So there's a lot of people looking at that page for local jobs and posting local jobs. So another good connection of bringing our community together. So yeah, that's all. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I just wanted to reinforce what Laura was saying a few minutes ago, because the idea of reaching out to competitors, ultimately, and this would really apply in Jim's world, ultimately when people are using our local businesses and they get more active in getting out there and spending their money locally, everybody's going to benefit. And in the restaurant world particularly, because there's so many restaurants that normally compete with each other, if people start to get in a habit of, say, getting restaurant food once or twice or 3 times a week, the folks that are out there working and can afford to buy meals, we all want to see the restaurants we love succeed, and we want to see them there when the pandemic's over. And it, ultimately, if the people of Leduc are using the restaurants and they're building that habit, it's going to be good for all of the restaurants. And I do think that there's a cooperative spirit that, it sounds cliche, and I'm sometimes reluctant to use the phrase "we're all in this together," but we really are all in it together, and we will succeed as we move forward together in that spirit. The other thing I just want to say is social media can sometimes be intimidating, and particularly when you start thinking about advertising and how do you spend and where, that can be really intimidating, but you don't have to spend money on social media for it to be effective. One thing I would highly encourage folks to do is, if you have a Twitter page or your Facebook page or your Instagram, I mean, Laura uses her, I see your Instagram stuff all the time. Almost every time I open my Instagram, the first thing I see is Laura, so she does a great job on her Instagram, but, use it positively. Don't fall, it's really easy to get cynical at this time and to use it to vent. Don't use your business page to vent. Use it for positive. Use it to empower other businesses. Think about this for a second. If you take the time to recognize what other businesses are doing in the community and you boost them, they're going to do that in return for you. And you'll build this sort of spirit amongst the community of kind of building each other up, and it's gonna benefit everybody. And it doesn't cost anybody anything if you kind of make it a daily habit in your social media that use one of your posts to find another business that you love in Leduc, and you use your post to kind of raise awareness of their business. And I'll tell you, that will come back and pay dividends for you in the future.
Thanks, Mike. Jim, did you want to say anything else? No, maybe he's frozen.
Frozen.
Frozen. It is cold out there.
Frozen.
The other thing I'll mention is that, again, we're looking so forward to the pandemic being over. The City of Leduc, we have just an incredible history with our sports tourism. And so like 2 years ago, we hosted over 150 events in 1 year. And actually, it was 2 years to the day. We just finished hometown hockey, and it was just as cold as it was then as it is now. And we still pulled it off. But we're really looking forward to getting back to that. It brings a lot of money into town. It helps our hotels, it helps our restaurants, and so we're really looking forward to getting back to a day when we can start to return to normal. But Leduc has so many amazing volunteers that can't imagine what they're doing now. They're just sitting at home, I think, waiting for an opportunity. So. Okay, looks like we lost Jim. Was there anybody else want to comment right now? Natalie, do we have any more questions?
We did get a comment saying the only thing I'm disappointed with in this town hall is I don't see Bernie anywhere.
That's my fault. William, what good would it be if you knew when Bernie was going to show up? Bernie's going to show up when you least expect it. Well, anyways, I really want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I appreciate this. And like, this isn't the last one. We're going to continue. Actually, today, I think we were sitting down and, no, it was yesterday, and planning out a schedule for these. So we'll get a schedule out, and what we're going to do is we'll try and figure out what is the burning topic of the time. But even if we get together just so people can share stories and talk and get to know each other better, I think there's a lot of merit in that. So like I say, going forward, I know that I see a lot of value in working closely with the chamber, working with the DBA, and working with all our small businesses. So really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Oh, Jim's back. Jim, did you want to say something?
Oh, sorry, my battery died there. I had to run for a plug-in.
Zoom meetings. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, wait, what I'd like to say here is what we're talking about, the City of Leduc program to help small businesses, navigate some of with the accounting hours, to navigate some of the government assistance programs. We found that incredibly beneficial, to get through all the complexities of the wage subsidy. So thank you very much for doing that. I agree with what people are saying. Like, we don't look at each other as competitors. I look at the other restaurants as my peers, and I'm happy to talk to any of your owners. Like like Mike was saying, we're all in this together. We're stronger together. And if I can share some tips to help someone else succeed, and they can help some tips to help another person succeed, that's great. I love the sense of community here. Like what we're doing, partnering with Under the Sun Glass on our Valentine's event that's coming up, to take two completely different industries here and bring them together for an event like that. And some of the events we've done together with 9 Round Fitness as well. It's been really great to see the support from the community that's come out from all of those. And so I say to any of my neighbors and peers, yeah, just reach out and talk to me if you have any questions or suggestions or anything. If I can help you out, I will. We're stronger together.
Yeah, thanks for that. Oh, go ahead, Jen.
Oh, I just wanted, Jim, do you want to comment on what you're doing for Valentine's Day? You haven't really.
On Valentine's Day, we're working with Under the Sun Glass, and it's called Fire and Dine. And it's a package where you and your Valentine together can play with some torches and learn glass blowing, and then come and have a taco dinner with a couple glasses of wine and one of our awesome desserts.
Sounds interesting. Natalie, we have another question.
Yeah, we had one more come in asking, how can hotels connect with the city?
Oh, that's a good question. Terry, do you want to try that?
Well, I think we know the hospitality industry, the challenges that they have right now, and I wish we had more control over having more to do with restrictions, but unfortunately that we don't. So I think we can only support them as where we can support them with the programs that we've got, and by shopping locally. I think support them when you can with using their food, their restaurants, and in any way that you can. I think that's the biggest thing that we can do right now is to support local. I know every community is saying that, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Everybody's looking out for their own in a good way. So, I hope once they pull out of this, there's definitely going to be some assessment questions when it comes to tax assessment and how that's going to be handled, because that's going to be very interesting. But That's not an easy one to answer. Unfortunately, under the restrictions that they're under, all we can do is support them in whatever local ways that we can to the best of our ability. And as they come out of this, look at some other things. We have a lot of hotels in our area, and some of them may want to retrofit and then get into some different multi-use things. I think we need to be open to listening to that. And there might be some bylaw changes or amendments to let them make those adjustments if there's other uses that they can that they can come to fruition moving later on. But it's a big moving target right now when it comes to hotels, and we've just got to be open-minded to the industry and to help them in every way we can.
Go ahead, Laura.
I also wanted to mention that, like, I'm sure that as soon as we're able to have our sports tourism back up and going, that every single sport, every single activity is going to want to have some form of a competition or an event or something, because we haven't had it for this entire year. So I think as soon as all of those sporting events and various things start to be more able to happen, I think that's when we could definitely have the hotels reach out to, I think it's Janet Guthrie at the city, and that she can make sure that we are showcasing all of our hotels and getting them full, so that we have people in there for any event that we happen to have within the city. But I think making sure that we have those contacts, so contact the city regardless, saying who you are, what you have to offer, how big of a facility, what your hotel has for amenities, so that we at least have that as a list. And then once we're able to host a variety of different things, sports or ag or any other kinds of things that might happen within our city, then we can definitely make sure that we are advertising to get people in your hotels, because I think that's we need to help you guys out too, because nobody's traveling anywhere right now. But definitely contact the city though. Make sure that we have your information, so that in the event that there is something that's happening, we can contact you. You may not know that an event is necessarily happening, because it may not be a big public event, but it could be, a smaller event, but like the Alberta Cup or figure skating, or, who knows what could be coming to town. And it may not be something that every resident may be aware of, but it's something that you have people traveling here for. So please reach out and give us your information, so we can include you in anything that might be happening.
That's a good point, Laura, and sports tourism is a piece of it. But right now, the biggest thing in our region is the airline travel, and that's until we get that back. Our hotel's going to start to come back into shape. So, because that's the hugest thing in our region right now. Yeah. And if Mike could get some travel restrictions lifted.
Get vaccines and rapid testing, capability in place, and that'll help there a lot.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jen.
Just gonna say quickly, with Valentine's Day and Family Day coming up, maybe it's a little staycation as well for those people watching, and book your local hotel for Valentine's Day, or take your family for Family Day, and again, use our restaurants and different things like that, because we do have such great amenities right here, and you could do a little staycation. So.
Yeah, that's a great. Perry at the Best Western is doing that at both Best Westerns in town, as well as Perry has his digital billboard. I'm not sure if all of you have seen it on 50th there, but yeah, that's just another good way of marketing your business. They're starting to do kind of fun community, like 50th birthdays and that kind of thing, on that large sign. So that's another way of supporting the hotels as well, and all the other things that they do. I just wanted to give a shout out from the chamber. If anyone wants to do a free COVID ribbon cutting because your business is reopening after all this, as a good news story, and the mayor loves a ribbon cutting. So if anyone would like to reach out to us, we'll get our masks on and we'll come and do a celebration reopening for you. I just have a shout out also for Amber on the business coaching side. I'm not sure if everyone knows that Amber also does that, but if businesses are looking for advice or that kind of thing, or just that co-working, networking piece, just to come in and drop in on a casual. You're great for that, Amber. You've been so helpful for the businesses, as well on the startup side. If you are thinking of that side hustle you're not doing now, or if you're looking for future advice on your business or looking to start a new business, Amber provides those services as well. So Anyway, yeah, we're thanking everyone today. Yeah, thank you, Mike. Thank you. Yeah, but yeah, this is such a great community. I wasn't born or raised here, but I mean, I've been here long enough for it to feel like home. So I love how everyone comes together. It's a great place.
Natalie has another question for Jim.
Yeah, we did get a question in for Jim saying that the Valentine's special sounds great, and they're wondering how much is it and where they can get tickets or more information.
There you go. Free advertising,
Yes,
Jim.
$250 plus GST per couple. And if you look on our social media, Habaneros Leduc, and find that post there, there's a link on it for registration. There are some spots open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend.
Okay, are there any more questions? Natalie?
No, we've had a couple of comments. Just thanking everyone for the great conversation and great ideas, and grateful for holding the event in the evening to be able to accommodate people's schedules and that kind of thing.
Well, I know we said we were going to go till 9, but there's nothing wrong with finishing early. I want to thank everybody for participating tonight. You know, it's really important that we do events like this so that people get a chance to share and get a chance to get some help. And I think even sometimes it's just good for people to hear other ideas and hear what other people are going through. So I really appreciate you all taking, although, I mean, what else would you do on a cold night like this? So, but thank you so much for being here. And, I'm sure that there will be a lot of value for people that have participated in this. And again, if anybody needs any help, all they got to do is ask. That's the type of community we have here. So thank you so much, and good night.
Good night.
Bye. Thank
Good
you
night,
again.
everyone. Thank you.